It's been a long time since we have done a cabin update. We are long overdue, so let's head down and I will show you all the things that Adam has been working on in our off-grid cabin. As we go down the steps, you will remember that we have cherry on the wall behind us, and we have two different kinds. We have the cherry that is the circle sawn right next to our jar shelf, and then we have the smooth planed cherry here, and it looks like we have some cobwebs. Okay, hard to stay on top of those. The last little while, Adam has been working really hard, and I will probably back you up in the video to show you some of the progress to date. The guys worked on getting the sheetrock on the ceiling one section at a time. They divided the garage into 3 sections, and all of our stuff got shifted one way or the other. Here we are shifting all the stuff from those shelves into the middle section so that he can hang the sheetrock on the ceiling over on the back side of the house. Once we got those shelves cleared, Adam worked on disassembling them and taking out the old shelves, making way for the new. Some of those same boards from the shelves were recycled out back under the porch to build a shelf for storage out there, so we just keep shuffling that wood around. Slowly he got the next section finished, and then it was time to move on to mudding the joints, painting, and finishing. So mean to me. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Lori and Squirt. We are about to go down into the basement and do some painting, and I'm going to be checking in. I have not been very faithful about checking in on our basement project. Adam's been chugging along, and yes, I have my hair all tied up in this funny thing because painting, you know. I'm going to be painting the ceiling. Adam has been doing the sheetrock on the top of the ceiling, and so I have 2 out of the 3 sections to paint. He is now working on part of the wall that goes up to our kitchen. We have to walk up the steps to get into from the basement to the kitchen. She's wondering why I'm talking and not to her. So let's check in and we'll just kind of try to catch up. Hey, Squirt. It's Squirt. Uh-oh, Squirt has found some flowers. Hey, you baby. Are you a good girl? Okay, let's head down the steps. The steps are unfinished. So this is the one side, and the other side we haven't done anything with yet. And if you've seen my video on my mason jar shelf wall, this is the other side of it. This is looking really good. We decided to do this wall, this back wall, with as much sheetrock as we could, and then this area where you see that it's darker, that is going to be used in tile. We have a stack of tile that's left over from our other project around the wood stove, and you can't really see it here, but it's like gray and brown. And we have enough to do this whole area, so it's going to be good for a heat shield. And this cutout that you see, I believe the whole thing is going to be done with wood, because this is where we're going to be stacking our wood for the winter, for the inside stuff. So it's not good to put it up against sheetrock. It'll just bang it up too much. Adam also has been doing a good job on this ceiling. And so this is 1/3 of the space that he did, and then the other portion here, all of our stuff piled up, and then he did the far corner, which I am going to be painting today so that we can shuffle this stuff over and keep moving with the project. Well, At least there's one good thing about painting white paint on a white ceiling. Just kidding, there's not one good thing. It's really uninspiring. You're painting white over white. Only about 1 billion more square feet to go. Can you see any progress yet? I can. It does look a lot brighter, and it covers up all those splotchy places that didn't look bad to begin with, but just looks better. Okay, it looks nice and smooth. It's taking me a lot longer than I thought, and it's kind of tiring because you're up over your head. And I haven't even cut in the edges yet. I think I'm just operating slow. As I've been doing this, a migraine has been creeping in, and so I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna do this section and not try to be a hero. And look, you can see where I stopped. I have just a little bit more to go, probably 8 more feet or so, I don't know. And that corner that looks strange. It's not hard work, it's tiring. I'm just not feeling that motivated. So my plan was, I'm gonna do all this, I'm gonna trim it out, I'm gonna do that other section before tomorrow. The reality is I've got other things to do, and I've got a huge sink of dishes to do, and I just need to tackle those so that I can have peace of mind up in my kitchen. And this will be here tomorrow, and hopefully then I won't have a migraine. And so, yeah, my goal now is to finish this section and to go take a walk. What can we say? It is a white ceiling. And there it is. We have been living with this beam for lots of years as we work around it. It's like 1 foot that comes into our headspace, and we've just learned to crane our necks and work around it, but it's not a support beam, and so today is the day that thing is coming out. Our only question was, why didn't we do this sooner? It is amazing what a difference that 1 extra foot of headspace provides. So the afternoon after we knocked out that beam, everyone was kind of involved just down in the garage area, piddling, moving things, painting, putting up insulation, just trying to do something to keep the projects going and catch up a little bit so that we don't get so far behind. Oh, I should tell you, the guy stepped out for a class, so let me just fill you in on what they've been doing. Greg has been working along this back wall, and you can see that the insulation is almost done. Of course, we don't put insulation in that big conglomeration of cords and wires, I guess. It looks like everything else is done, which is good. Oh, a little bit under the panel box. And then we have this back wall behind me, and yes, if you think that our shop area is a mess, it's because it is a mess. We have had everything behind me piled here, there. We move it to do this part, we move it to do that part. Once we get the walls done, we can then hopefully build some shelves and start putting these things on shelves so that we can start getting some organization. And at the moment, it's like if it's in that pile, good luck finding it. You're not going to find it, most likely. So that's the story. Adam has been, well, let me tell you what Andrew's been doing. We have had lots of bottles and spray cans stored for the last 6 years or more, 7 years, on this wall, like inside the studs, because why not? Why not store them there? And so Andrew's been bucketing all those up, and you can see buckets and buckets of paint, and they're all around. So he's doing preparation for putting insulation in there. And then Adam has been working behind me. Let's see. Putting sheetrock on these walls. And initially, this square area that you see cut out and then filled in, he had that all cut out because his plan was to put boards there because this is going to be an area for stacking firewood. It's right beside our wood stove, which is kind of like piled with everything as everything else. And once we talked about it, we decided that since the main reason we are putting sheetrock in here, both on the ceilings and the walls, is because of the fireproof quality of it. This is, oh, some of the pieces have it on there. It's FireGuard sheetrock and it's 5/8 inch thick. So let me tell you, once we lived in a single wide trailer for many years, and the sheetrock we put in there was a lot thinner than this, and so this is a lot more substantial, which is a good thing. So what we decided to do, since it is a really good idea to make wood on the wall for stacking the firewood, then you're not dinging up the sheetrock. Well, we decided let's get the sheetrock on this portion, and then we will take that same area and Adam can build a wood wall halfway up so that when we stack the firewood, it doesn't go banging into the sheetrock and dinging it all up, because, you know, that is a thing. And we like to have a supply in here in the dry. We also store firewood outside under the porches and stuff, but, you know, it's nice to have a supply so you don't have to like traipse out into the freezing cold, and then it's easier to fill up your wood wall, and that is what we will do. So this is what Adam has been doing today. We decided to go ahead and sheetrock up the staircase, which is very different. We have had no sheetrock on the walls in this house. It's been all wood, tongue and groove, or horizontal panels of stuff that we've milled ourselves. And actually, I'm a little bit torn on whether I like the sheetrock or the wood better. I feel like I like the wood better, but the sheetrock, this will give this whole stairwell a lighter feel depending on what color we paint it, and we're not going to paint it like a dark color. So as long as we have this a light color, it'll go halfway up, and then it will start, let me show you behind me, then it will start the cherry, which is the wall on top of it, and that kind of transitions into the house. And yes, this has a lot of patchwork, and Adam is going to have a lot of seams to do, but it's just, he was using up pieces of sheetrock that we had left over that we didn't want to waste, and so we still have to get some for this other side of the stairwell, and then he can start mudding the joints. We also have an area behind me, if you can see the different colors of sheetrock. One of them is sheetrock and one of them is actually cement board. And so it's actually a tile backer board, and we are going to use, looks like I have some sawdust in my hair. We're going to use the leftover tile. We're going to put just a run of tile up the wall for more fireproof and a little bit of aesthetic qualities. But it also, having that little bit of tile on the wall also absorbs the heat. And so that'll hold on to the heat and just, you know, hold on to it for a little bit longer. So looks like most, okay, 3 out of 4 walls in here have been insulated, and that's a good thing. We have one more wall to go, and then Andrew's going to continue that process. And in the main part of the shop, where we don't have like wood stove and so forth, we call it the shop. There's no shop. I don't know why we really call it a shop. Workshop area, it's basically a garage. But we don't intend to park our cars in here. We had it built with 10-foot ceilings in case Greg wants to drive his truck in here and work on it and different things, and it can be in the dry. So that may be something that we do eventually. Right now it's just, so far it's been storage, and it's going to be more storage, tools, and stuff like that. And in the main part, we're going to have wood plank walls. Greg has wood that he's already milled, and it's going to be pretty much rough cut no sense in planing it and then it's just going to go horizontally on the walls, and then on top of that we're going to build shelves for all the tools, all the supplies, the whatever stuff we have to store in this shop. Then that's going to go on the shelves, and one day we're going to have all this stuff behind me in a logical order, and I think we'll have much more peace of mind once we get to that point. Right now it's just get through, let's finish the construction so that we can get to the point where we can relax and have things orderly. Okay, enough talking by me, now it's time to go climb a ladder or two. I left for town to get my oil changed, and I knew that the guys were looking at the tile. I said, do it however you choose, and this is what they chose. I couldn't have come up with something like this. I really like it. Looks good. I probably would have gone horizontally, but I kind of like the creative look of going up and down. All around me, the sheetrock is looking good. Adam's been working on mudding it, and then he's going to be texturing it and putting a texture on it. So I can't wait to see how that turns out. And so at this point, the walls are textured, but they are not painted. And so you'll see the different colors, the color variations, and that will soon to be painted like by me today. I'm getting ready to prime it, and then I'll probably be painting it tomorrow. So we did a good job with the texturing. It's kind of like the, I don't know what it's called, sort of a knockdown. I really don't know what it's called, but it looks good. I really like it, and it's going to pair well. Let me show you the color that we chose for the walls. Okay, so the color is called Mesa Sand, and it's kind of a dark beige color, and that is just going to go well with the warm colors of our cabin. So as I stand at the bottom of the steps, you can see going up that we have the half wall going up, and then the other portion of the wall, and he did sheetrock the ceiling. It's waiting to be primed and painted, and that's also going to be done by me. This corner here, we have sheetrocked with the texturization, and then the only other place that we have that's sheetrocked is to the side of the door, the back door, and then that's just halfway. The rest that you see insulation is going to be covered with wooden planks. It's definitely still a work zone behind me, but here we are getting you up to speed where we are today. He is putting wide planks of ash on the walls, and he's gotten up to almost the top. These walls are 10 feet. So over the door, he still needs some wood. We're going to have shelves on this wall, and that's going to be for all the tools and supplies that we have in the basement. So beyond that, and here you can see the stacks of wood that he's been planing. The planer is behind us. We ended up investing in a new planer, industrial grade, because we have had so much wood that we've been processing. So Adam is really a trooper. This is his project, and he's been doing such a great job. So behind me, where you can see the inverter and the batteries behind the planer, it's ash back there, and he is almost running out of wood, so we're gonna have to get some more. This is all wood that we've sourced from Greg's tree business, and it's been a real blessing that he has that. It just means a lot of work for the people, and he's going to use what he can back here on the floor to try to finish out this wall behind me, and then we're going to have to load up some more wood. I almost am finished with painting these walls, and I kind of like how they're turning out. This is obviously the unpainted, and it's way darker in the paint. The contrast is way darker than I expected. But as the wall turns out and drying, if you can see behind me, it's kind of a, almost not quite a caramel color, but it's a good neutral color. It looks pretty good on either side of our wood stove with the gray and the tile that has little snippets of, like little bits of brown and mostly slate. But if we look around, and it's very hard to tell because we have so many things in this workshop that are getting worked on. If you look on that far back wall where the wood is almost up, and then if I take you over here on that wall behind me, the wood wall that goes all the way up, it's almost the same color as this here. And so I have, if you can tell, there's parts that have wet paint on it still and dry paint. And so it's really hard to tell because of the lighting, but it's kind of a creamy tan color. It's Mesa Sand is the color. And I'm liking it pretty well. Just have this a little bit more to do. Though the walls aren't too bad, but the trim just buggy, and the texture of the walls is a little bit buggy too, because you think you've gone over it and then you find out that you've actually, you missed some spots because of the texture. But I'm really liking the texture of the walls. I think it's going to be good. It hides imperfections, and we decided to go on this with a semi-gloss. We actually even considered doing a gloss because of handprints and because people in our family just plain get dirty. It's right upstairs from the wood stove, and there's going to be ashes to deal with. But semi-gloss hopefully will be good enough for wipeability. And there we have it. So almost finished. And then I can clean up this painting and mark that off my list. So almost finished. And that's a good feeling.